Recording. So basically, what we have done now till now, that we prepare a cutover plan, and initial phase is what are the cutover activities need to be performed in our we discussed that what are the cutover activities required, what are the key things we need to understand, and in after that we see what are the FICO modules, cutover activities related to a
I have
master
a
data.
question here.
Yeah, sure.
So, do we have a priority of which ones need to be migrated first, or
Yes, there is a priority that the
all?
yes, there is a priority or a sequence of the data that need to be moved into the new system.
All of them have to make sure they fight or something like.
Hello. Yeah, no, actually, Dhara, your voice is cracking. I'm not able to hear you properly.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes. Now it's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, there is a sequence that when we are doing any cutover, the first thing will move in system is my transport. Okay, what the
Okay.
transport will do, it will carry the structure or the configuration. The second things, we move the data. So there are two types of data in the system. First is considered as a transaction data, sorry, master data, and second considered as a transaction data. So we have the master data in each and every module. Like for the FICO module, we have a GL, vendor, customer, assets, cost center, profit center, cost element. These are the master data. So first, in the master data, we first move the general ledger master data. Okay.
Okay.
Then we move the
Okay.
vendor. Then we move the customer. Then the assets. Okay. And after that, we move the transaction data, because what happened that the transaction data linked to a particular customer. If you can take the example of a bank. If we go to the bank, then our master data is my customer detail. Okay, and the transaction data is the number of transaction activities performed by that particular customer. Like time to time he might deposit the amount in the bank, and time to time he withdraw that amount. So these deposit and the withdrawals will be considered as a transaction data. So so you can take this example. If I need to move that customer data from one system to new system, so first I need to create a customer. Okay, after that I can move what are the credits or the debits transaction performed by that customer. So that is why we always move the master data first and then transaction data. But before that, we need to move the transport, so that my backend structure will be established in the system.
Okay.
Okay. And we also shared what is the Excel we prepared for the project plan purpose, and what are the key activities or we need to check at the pre and post, you can say, migration. So we cover up these till now, and we also cover up what required from the FICO side as a module wise. Okay, so
Okay.
now we will start another module for the cutover management. I just update this cutover management plan, or you can say document. Okay, so there is another module which is called the production planning, which is also an important module. SAP event production planning. So SAP production planning. What happened that in SAP production planning, only the master data shall be migrated into SAP. We did not migrate it. There is no transaction data in terms of the production planning. We need to migrate. So only the master data need to be moved in the production planning. So it's a unique thing. I just write down. Okay, just a minute. For production planning, shall be migrated to SAP system and you can say what is the following are so let me finish it. So following, what is the master data? I just mentioned the master data. Following is the MST master data relevant for, in short form it is called a PP. Okay, production planning. So first is bill of material, which is also bill of material. It is also called BOM in SAP system. Okay, which is contain all the informations of the material, what materials we have consumed, and in the production, what are the rates of that production, where that material. So it contains that information. Second thing, routing. What the routing contain in the, what are the overheads or the labors we put into that production. And the third thing is a works work center. Work center provide what are the different heads or the departments we used in the production. Okay.
Okay.
And like when we production planning means we are production planning means we are doing a production of a particular work. So what happened then, there might be a situation like when we are doing a migration, some goods are finished or already in the finished form, or some might be in the WIP, work in progress. So how we deal up that situation? So basically what happened that as of the cutoff date, like we have the cutoff date of 1st of May. Ideally, there not be and there should be no work in progress, because what happened that at why we say there is no work in progress. So we assume at the time of a cutover, like all the open production order, like which are working on, should be closed, and the like which are the open one in SAP, so that should be closed before that, you can say before the cutover date. And now which are in the or now the second one which already in the production, like work in progress. So what happened that the open production order should be closed, and the semi-finished, that we call the working progress, means the semi-finished, which is not finished goods, we dismantle them and add it to the raw material. Like what happened that I produced in the system, I enter that there are particular goods I am producing, but at the time of a cutover, it is not finished, it's in the work in progress stage. So what we do, we dismantle that, and like we put a labor, we put a material, and we put a overheads. So what we do, we dismantle the cost and put it back, so that we did not require the work in progress creation at the time
Okay.
of a migration activity, or you can say migration or cutover activities.
Okay.
Okay, so basically this strategy we followed for all the production order, which leads to the which lead time to complete. Okay, like which are not in a large in terms of a like uh, they are not a long duration production order, and might be there's a production order which take a lot of time, like month or 2 months to be finished. In such a case, for longer duration, it is not possible to dismantle the product. So what happened that we add it to the inventory and we follow the uh, there's a different strategy we need to follow for the longer duration. So what happened that the for shorter duration, I just point it here as a for a short duration production order, and the for long duration production, what we need to do for duration.
I'm sorry, my kids all
No,
around.
no, it's okay, not a problem. For a short duration production order, so I should write this as a uh, semi-finished, semi-finished goods must be dismantled entered and, and should be added added to raw materials. Raw materials on the so it's a short duration production order and for long duration production order. So what happened that in the case of a long duration, as it is not even possible to dismantle. So basically, it's not possible to dismantle and add back to inventory and add back to inventory. So we need to follow a different strategy for long duration to follow. You can say below strategy. I just write down the points what we need to do in the case of a longer duration production order. Okay. So below activities, or you can say below strategy, right word. TEG strategy. So what we do in the longer duration, we create bill of material. Material which is called as a BOM, bill of material, and it will be used will be used only for that particular production order, which is longer duration and in a work in progress, you can say. Option only for the it will be used only only for this PP. No, or you can say uh, I must write down proper word.
Production plan.
Production order. Sorry, production.
Okay.
Or what I say, production order, because we are calculating the production order. What happens? Which order are a short duration. So we will dismantle them and add back to that material into the cost back to that different heads. But there are some production order which are long duration. At the date of a, we find that at the date of a migration, uh, there are some production order which are for long duration. So what we need to do, we need to use this strategy, because we cannot you can say dismantle them. So what we do, we first create a bill of material which is only used for that specific production order. Second step, we will uh, uh, routing, because there are the three master that is required: bill of material, routing, and work center. So second is the routing. I just formatted it correctly. Material. We create routing. Routing for rest of the PRODUCT production PROCE process. Okay, and third thing we require, create production and bring work in progress, because it's a work in progress. We need to calculate the work in progress. Bring work in progress material, material into inventory as of our cutoff date. So what happened that we till the cutoff date, what are the material we used, we create a work in progress and add it back to the inventory. And the fourth point is we will need to create the PRODUCT production in SAP system for rest, or what I say, work in progress. Issue material, issue material, issue and issue material, issue to non-material, issue material production order. And once we there is a star. So once we completed our cutoff day, or you can say complete. So after the cutoff date, what we need to, we just put it together. So what I use here, inventory of cutoff date for WIP, and what happened that we need is sorry, system, and at the end we need to complete PRODUCTF production process after the cutoff date. So here what the activities we are doing in case of production planning module, because as for the production planning it is the only module where we move the only master data. Okay, there is no transaction that is required to move. So what are the master data in the case of our production planning? We have the bill of material, which contain the information for the material, quantity, pricing, routing, which contain the information about the labors and overheads, and the work centers, which departments, what are the department we use in the production. So there are two types of a work order or the production order. Must say the production order. First is at the when we are doing a migration. So we have the cutoff date. So at the cutoff date, we can find the two types of production order. The first type is a short you can say short duration production order. So what happen in the
Okay.
short duration production order, which are in the semi-finished goods, that means the WIP, we dismantle them and add back to the raw material. Okay, but now there's a second type which is a longer duration production. So what happened that in the longer duration production order, it is not advisable or it is not possible to dismantle and add back to the inventory. So what we required, we create a separate material, you can say master record for them. Like we will create a bill of material, and this bill of material will used only for the this particular production order, which is a longer duration. We also create a routing for the rest of the production order, like on till cutoff date 75% production order is completed. So what happened that I need to create a routing for the rest 25% production process, and then I need to also bring the working progress material into the inventory. So what are the cutoff date? My cutoff date is the 1st of January. So till 1st of January, what is the work in progress WIP material I need to add back to the inventory, and we will create a production order for the WIP and issue to the like what are the I create for till 1st of January. I issued a 100 quantity or the 100 units of material to the that particular production order, which in a WIP phase. So what I do, I just record that quantity for my inventory purpose. So once my cutover activity is completed, I will go and complete the production process. That's it.
Okay.
And PP is the module basically where we do these production activities, and it is related to the MM module. And what happened that at when we do this PP module, the MM is associated with it, and together MM and the production planning module provide the data to my controlling, and the part of that controlling which linked get the data from these two modules is called the product costing. Okay, where we do the product planning. Okay, so you can understand that how different modules are linking, like production you can say production planning is a module where we do the actual production. Okay, raising the production you can say a production order. Okay, and it is receiving the data from the bill of material, or sorry, from the material management. Okay, so material management providing the material information, and the production of PP module providing the what are the additional activities or the cost we putting on that particular material to get it finished. Okay, like we produce like we are I can give the example of we are in the business of garments. So cloth is my raw material, so that is coming from the MM module but that production is going into my production activities performing in my PP module. So what happened, that PP module get the clothes from the MM module, and rest like stitching or labor or overheads or the different departments, like there must be some tailors who is working on it, some there must be some designer working on that, creating garments. So these are activities are you can say performed in my production planning module. So I just give the example of a simple example of a garment manufacturing. Okay. And what happened, that this MM module, and that is a material management module and production planning module, providing data to my controlling, and the part of that controlling which receiving the data is called the production product costing, where I am doing my planning, product cost planning. Okay.
Okay.
So I just give how the different modules are linking and what is the easiest example of this. And like we are doing the production PP module, so it's better to look at what we do in the case of a MM module. Okay, so there is another module which is called the WM. So what happened, the WM means work warehouse management, where we putting our inventories.
Is it warehouse management? Is that what you said?
Yes, WM, sorry, WM, warehouse management. Hello.
Hello? Yes.
So yes, so I hope you are also moving the warehouse management into the new system. So you are also working on the warehouse management, or so?
I have no clue. Are you asking me?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm just asking.
I have no clue.
Okay, okay. Okay, so we start from the warehouse management, or I should say it management, or WM. We can see. I'm just putting it as a. So I'm just starting a warehouse management. What are the activities we required for the warehouse management perspective? So we can say okay, Cutover activities every should maintain. So what are the activities? Maintain, or we can say every new ENT client. So what are the activities they will so they are the, you can say, configuration. From the configuration point of view, configuration activities. Okay, sorry. Just put it. So from the configuration type number range, first we prepare the number range, because what happened that I just just keep it in the mind that when we talk about SAP, there are the multiple number ranges are working in the SAP environment. Like there must be a document number range, there must be a, you can say, a customer account group number range, vendor account group number range, material master number range, assets number ranges. So what happened that because whatever master data we will create in the SAP, or whatever document we post in the posted in the SAP, like in the form of transaction data, system generate a unique document number for the transaction and for every master data. So for these we require to create a number ranges or in the backend system. And this it is a, you can say, uh, drawback from the SAP side, that you are not allowed to transport the number ranges. So as a cutover manager, you must be aware of that number ranges can't be transferred. So so you must ensure that when we are moving to the new system, the first activity, like one of the most important activities, that the number ranges are properly created before we are doing any kind of a data movement.
Okay.
So
do we have a standard for this?
Pardon?
Do we have a standard that we follow?
Yes, there is a standard, like SAP provided standard number ranges. So we need to create because SAP did not allow to, you can say, transport the number range from like quality to the staging to the production, or development to the staging environment. We need to go and create it manually. So we must be must sure that the number ranges are created in due time. Okay. So you can see they are the in case of warehouse management, we also require a maintain number range for maintain number range for TR transport, TO transaction orders. Yeah, could cons posting. But so these are for the specific to MM. Second, we also require to create number range for inventory document. Inventory document. Then we also need to create interim storage bin. Storage bins. These are the configuration which is required or done by a PP VM consultant.
Okay.
Okay. So Mm, Requirement management. So basically, it's a very small configuration, four pre-configuration that is need to be done by the, you can say, prospective VM consultant. Now, what are the master data for a VM activities? Master data activities. So let's see, for master data. Okay, that's right. For this material master data for amendment VIE W1 VIEW view Q. So basically what happened that when we create a material master data, we have the different views. So we need to required to create a master data for warehouse management in view 1 and view 2.
Okay.
These views are available in the material master. Okay, and second point we require to do is material master extension, because warehouse is an inventory, so most of the things here related to the material, because inventory means in warehouse means the place where we put an inventory, and inventory is a part of the material management. So material master extension or extension or for and for plant scheduling warehouse and storage type. Storage type. Okay. Okay, let's say now warehouse storage type. Storage type. Third point is always a, you can, third is like printer configuration. So it's a normal. So I didn't mention here, but it's because we require a printer. Check the printer configuration as a primary activities when we draft our cutover plan. So printers are configured or not. Now the important thing is outputs of delivery. Outputs for delivery, shipping, and our HU. Basically, if it is required. 。   . 。  . 。 . 。 . . . . . . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 . 。 . . . . . . . 。 . . 。 . . . . . 。 . . . . . . 。 . . . . . 。 .
Okay.
required in our company. Or third point, if we are creating any Z program like a customization, so we need to check where the SNUM. Let me open the SAP and show you this thing. SAP. So hope you are able to see that I just open up the SAP. You can see my SAP screen.
It just flashed into it. It's still loading for me.
Okay.
I can't see all of it. I can see bits and pieces. Like you're trying to enter the login details, I guess.
Yes.
I'm not able to see. I'm seeing the Word document.
Okay, just a minute, because what happened that at okay, where is now you can see my screen.
Yes.
So there is a SNUM. So basically number range objects which I like we have the different objects. If you click here, you will find we have a different objects here. These are the basically customization objects. Okay. So if we are using any G program, so we need to create a number range for that particular object. So that's also part of you can see. Now you can see that I just switch on that Word document. So I will check if any SNUM, it's a T code. Require for programs like customization. Custom programs. So Dara, I hope you can see my screen. I'm start working on that.
You're on SAP Easy Access screen. Is that where you are right now?
Yes, but now I just switch on that
Then
our
I'm not able to see.
document. So now you can see that the document. You can see the document.
Yes.
So what happened that if we are using any Z programs or a Z report, these which are the custom programs as per the client requirement, so we need to ensure that SUMN, which I show you in SAP, it is a T code. So you need to check whether the SUMN, the number range is created for the Z programs or not, for Z programs objects basically. And third, this is a normal point that we need to check all the transport. Transport tables. Data. Like we are transporting the tables. from one system to another system. So we need to check the transportable table data, like any table. Like I'm transferring one table from staging to the quality environment. So I need to check whether the data of that table contain. Okay. So basically, this is the uh, you can say major things for the warehouse management we require, and this is the main thing for production planning we required. So we just cover up what we see: the FI, CO, VM, and production planning. Okay, in terms of SAP modules, which we required at the time, or for which we performed a different activity cutover activities. So for each module, what are the cutover activities we need to perform? We are just going through one by one. So we cover up the two modules today: warehouse management, and previous one is the production planning. In case of production planning, only the master data is going into the production. Okay, so after that there is a two modules, main modules is left. One is the MM and second is the SD. Okay, and then we worked on the HR, like human resource. What are the cutover activities? So these are three main modules are left in terms of our cutover activities. Hello.
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah. So in the like it's a backup for today for two modules. The three modules,
Okay.
main modules are left. So once these three modules are done, we are nearly about to finish up our cutover activities for in respect of the different modules of SAP.
Okay.
And after that, what I'm planning, I will show you one, like from the FICO side, how we move or you can say load the data into the SAP system for
Okay.
different modules, like for general ledger, for vendor master data, general ledger master data, some assets master data, and customer master data, and how we load the transaction data for different these respective master data. Okay, so that
Okay.
you know
Sure.
how the loading will done and how we do the checks whether the data load is right or not.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
these are the rest
And
of the.
Ashish,
Yes.
I did not get the recording and the document from yesterday's class.
Yesterday class, basically I saved it
Okay.
already in that folder. So if you go there, you
Okay.
will find it. Because
Okay.
what
And
happened?
also, I think Indu was saying she's going to send us another link, right? Is this what she modified? Because we did not get disconnected today.
Yeah, that is I'm a bit surprised. So
Yeah.
no issue, because
Okay.
what happened that if you see that you will find the recording there for yesterday class.
Okay.
So, and I also saved the recording for the today class, because after the class will over, I just convert. It take time to convert the recording, and then
Okay.
I saved it immediately on the shared drive.
Sure. I'll check it.
Okay, not a problem.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Thank you, Ashish. Good night.
Yeah,
Thank you. Bye bye.
yes, bye.